Now we'll check our rear belt adjustment. Our rear belt adjustment should be between 5/16 and 3/8 deflection. And that means have 5/16 to 3/8 movement up and down. And that is at 10 pounds of pressure according to the manual. So what we'll do is we'll check it at the top. I've removed the top belt guard so you can see it. I'll put my little scale or a ruler here. And then you can get a tool that actually measures the 10 pounds of pressure. I find that if you just go your maximum amount here, you're going to be able to feel it. It doesn't move much more after 10 pounds than it would at 40 pounds. So, as you can see here, I'm actually exactly in between 5/16 and 3/8. So that's exactly where we want to be. If you have too loose of a belt, you can cause the belt to actually start shearing teeth off. If it's too tight, you can actually break the belt. But since this one's okay, we won't have to worry about it. But in the instance you had to adjust your belt, you'll go back to your rear axle, you'll loosen it, and then you'll use your axle adjusters to push it back to actually tighten it or forward to loosen it. Once you get to your desired tension, you'll tighten it, go 60 to 65 foot-pounds, that's on this model for torque, and you'll want to verify your axle alignment. And I made this tool. The service manual actually give you specifications and dimensions to make this. I made it out of some welding rod. And I put an O-ring on the back. You can use a zip tie also. And I'll use it just to measure my axle alignment from the pivot here to our rear axle. And I'll put the O-ring right where this is at on this side. Go to the other side, make sure you're exactly the same. That way you know your axles concentric are the same on both sides, so the wheel will track in the center of the swing arm. So that, in a nutshell, is how you adjust your rear belt. Let's keep moving. As you can see, I've just removed the aftermarket nacelle that was covering up this front end, so we can see exactly what I'm going to be working on. What we're going to do at this point is remove the fork oil and replace it. So what we want to do first is go to the top or fork cap and take a 1 3/8 inch wrench and remove the cap. With this removed, it'll allow the oil to drain freely from the drain plug at the base. Now there's some companies that make a stubby socket like this to use on it, but for here, the bars are so close to it, we'll just have to use a wrench. Once it's finger tight, you can spin it out. And then we'll go to this side of the bike and drain our fluid. You see there'll be a Phillips drain plug at the back of this fork leg. On some models like the Deuce, it could be back behind the leg, but all others should be right around here or on the front. So when you remove the drain plug, be sure you have something ready to catch the fluid as it starts pouring out. And we'll just let this drain for now. Once all our fork oil is drained out, we can go ahead and reinstall our drain plug. What we'll want to do first is put a little bit of thread sealant on our drain plug. Again, so like a liquid Teflon or a thread sealant will work. Reinstall it. And then we're going to go up to the top and reinstall our oil. Now you want to check your service manual for the specific amount for your model year. And to check the amount, on each bottle of fork oil, you'll have a measurement level here. You can use a ratio right, which is a measurement tool like a funnel that'll have these measurements on it, or you can just pour that amount out, just get your specified amount. This fork leg just so happens to take 11 ounces. All right, with all of our fork oil in, we can now put in our cap again. So first thing you'll have is a little rubber gasket that'll typically stay in here when you take the cap off. So put that back in. You have our washer and then the cap. It may be easier to put this on first, which just so happens to be the instance here. All right, so I'm going to thread this in, torque it down. I'm going to do the exact same thing to the left-hand side.